how was the deal extended by the Gambian National Assembly? Barrow has bought himself a cell at Mile2 prisons, or maybe even Janjambure. I bribed the MPs, he said. So now he'll be hoping with the 18 seats he had, I'm sure Hamad Bas and
Badin Lamin Tamba ako Barrow kasole sa fire Mile2 aning adiam de député carte fa fanalale bari menketa Senegal sojaron ning rebelo la fanati ayo fana malal sen follow Instagram Give Thanks TV 1 Facebook Give Thanks TV bele kana Badin alumbara Give Thanks TV la murunda nan ko reke mba fola momo ni video etra wato wati Give Thanks TV ko abe konton na o wato la mbalin konton diro borin ko laje mba fola be kal subscribe aliya like ale comment nal subscribe tu pare aliya make so kakata belende men katara je mbalin aliya ma ka press e bajala video jolonta wato wati mbalin ni manke mo foloti ete kala mo la banti membe video jubela komi ngatanda la nyami Lamin Tamba min keta APRC la baramadoti manam atala kumada kuola mimbe dending NPP la kuoto nzafo President Barrow ay ko minke carte fo min tambida December manam Lamin Tamba atandi kaje ko sunyar bale keta je anim fanna jama mimbe dendi wala bari Lamin Tamba man diamo fanna damala adiamta député carte fawlale aning ay example tandi wala ay cool tandi mi atina aje ko sunyar baleketa min keta presidential electorati manam Lamin Tamba man daw fana damato akumata Senegal sojaro lale ening Casamas MFDC eka sonko min soto wala fitino min ka duite ma fo aka dum Gambia banko kan aning fana jama bari Lamin Tamba force lady famala min keta Fatoumata Babaroti bari Lamin Tamba tandiro kaje ko min kera President Barrow akay ko min beke wala sunyarol ni corruption min beke da ako akamonta President Barrow e kasole sa faye min kera Mile2 anin fanna jama Lamin Tamba o be male anin atandiro kaje ko min kera député carte fawninti anin fanna jama ay jero ka kaje ko nina da jube min kera APRC milning Barrow kafta nyoma wol jamabe bola Barrow fan ko la nyaato bayin wala jero ken yaaje ka futa Barrow ma yaaje ko suñaro ko sono ya Barrow la groupe wol tani fanna jama wala ka fundi Barrow ma bari nde diamo sen la bay ko chokro ka dia wolo dale kono be Lamin Tamba la video tandela kuma kamin tandi membe dendi wo fanna sifalto kairo kanu fo faw Lamin Tamba kuma jama la tandi je mi yalon ko ni alla moyta mo sa faham no le mem fota je ala barka.
Candidates are independent currently. If we add our 5 seats to the UDP, we've got 21 seats. If the other 2 APRC candidates who've been undermined by NPP, I'm sure our scammers, the former APRC executive, will try everything possible to align these people to Barrow so that they can continue to eat. That will be their feeding tube from the NPP. All right? Adama Barrow, if you don't give us some money to munch next month, we're going to pull our candidates out of your alliance and send them towards the real APRC. They're going to continue to blackmail Adama Barrow and NPP all through the next 4 or 5 years if Barrow is lucky to survive the second term. Because the way Gambia is going right now, I cannot see how Gambian people will survive under Barrow for another 4 years, 5 years. So now, after 5 years of incumbency of being in power, Adama Barrow could not manage more than 18 seats, and after 2 years of forming his National People's Party, President Jammeh resigned from the army. Within 3 months of forming the APRC, he won a majority in Parliament. President Jawara did the same in 1962, and again in subsequent elections. Adama Barrow couldn't do it. Why? The reasons are abundant. I don't want to go to the reasons at this stage. I've addressed them before. I spoke about them before. Today's analysis is about the National Assembly elections and how they debunk the results of the presidential elections and how they clearly demonstrated, or crystal clear, abundantly clear, the results of the National Assembly election just categorically showed Gambian people that the majority of our country doesn't approve of the current trajectory that the country is headed. We are headed for a car crash. But I'm glad, I'm hoping the other 11, 12 independent candidates will lean towards genuine opposition. We need to hold the government accountable. Now that's what I'm hoping for. If they really meant holding the government accountable, at no point will Barrow succeed in bribing them. At no point will they contemplate joining the National People's Party of Barrow, because Barrow is doomed, dusted, dead, decaying. Ladies and gentlemen, there's no way Barrow is going to improve. I told you this in 2017. Barrow has got no scope for improvement. Many people, nobody's born to be president. Nobody was ever trained to be a president. All right? But with every job in the world, the more you do it on a daily basis, the more you should improve. Naturally, you should improve. Adama Barrow has not improved since the very day that he joined, but he became president of the Republic of the Gambia. In fact, he's getting worse, because now there'll be war threatening Gambian soil, and Barrow will not visit the conflict zone. He will not visit the affected families. He will not make a statement publicly. He will not come and reassure Gambians as to what his government was doing to resolve the situation and prevent recurrence. He never talks. The only time you see Admiral Barrow talk is when he wants to push out chaff. In local language, is what we call he's blowing and biting at the same time. The man is full of air. Wasteful air. Not even the trees want to consume his carbon dioxide. I mean, he just came out a couple of days ago. He said he's going to cut his fast. I mean, apart from the Wolof language, most of our languages still use the word break to end their fast. You break your fast. Admiral Barrow came after so many years of offending the Queen of England, or offending the Queen's language, or contravening it. He said many Gambian people in the evenings, they cut their fast. I don't want to be petty. I want to go over it. But I'm just showing you what I said, that Adama Barrow has got no scope for improvement. He said he's going to cut his fast. One, if you're a president, you have to choose diplomatic language. In many cases, he could have just said at the end of the fasting day, or just say iftar, or just say when we break our fast. Nobody cuts the fast. Yes, the Wolof do say ndogo. Yeah? Then call dog. We'll cut it. Maybe he translated directly from Wolof, which doesn't often work, because if you want to try direct translation from African languages and English, it does sound hilarious. It's just like when we were young and we were at boarding school in Buyam, Fatima High School. You know, in local languages, you can say, it rained. Rain rained. Yeah, it rained. But you can't say that, because in English it's wrong. You can only say it rained heavily, or it rained cats and dogs, or it rained for long periods. You can't say it rained. Yeah? So he said, I'm going to cut the fast, or we're going to cut the fast, or when we cut the fast. Diplomatically, you could have said at the end of the fasting day, or you could have said at iftar, or when people break their fast in the evening. And he constantly does that all the time. He doesn't think. He just says things like blunders. He just doesn't think. He's not going to improve. And now the National Assembly elections, which I'm going to go to now, have shown that this guy is on a rapid decline. No Gambian trusts Adama Barrow anyway. Even his close followers don't trust him. He only won 18 seats out of 53, a minority. His only wish is that the other independent candidates from other parties, because our party, the APRC, the real APRC who are independent, they're not going to support Adama Barrow. We want to hold him accountable. We want to sack him. Barrow has committed impeachable offenses, several of them. To start with, the deployment of Senegalese forces on Gambian soil without an act of parliament. That's high treason. A Gambian president having Senegalese bodyguards, we have no official secrecy. All our secrets officially are being known by Senegal firsthand. That's high treason. The amount of corruption that's happening in Barrow government impeachable offenses, fishing licenses that are being given to Senegal to sell on our behalf, treasonable offenses, breaches of government, of our constitution, basically. Parliament didn't pass these agreements between Gambia and Senegal, Gambia and China, Gambia and EU, Gambia and France, fishing deals, oil deals. Who knows what's going on with our oil? As I said several times, we are in the middle of a basin, river basin. Guinea-Bissau on the left, Senegal on the right. We're in the middle. Both countries are tapping from their underground source of oil. Gambia, which is in the middle of the pipeline, we're not getting oil. Where is our oil going? Anyway, back to the National Assembly results. Now, during the presidential election, Barrow won. Sorry, Ramadan, my throat is dry. I need to get a drink. Barrow won in inverted commas. 53% of the vote. Inverted commas, won, because we don't believe he won. That naturally should translate into a 31, 32, 33, 34, 35 seats National Assembly election. In fact, if you look at the constituencies that Barrow allegedly or claimed to have won during the presidential election, he won out of 53 constituencies, he might have won about 40 of them, if not 45 constituencies. Where did that vote evaporate within the space of 3 months? Could it be that the opposition petition against him worked because he could not then go and repurchase these votes from the general population? The petition submitted by the UDP with evidence from us, the GDC, AGGI Alliance, APRC, GDC, GAP Independent Alliance. That petition might have had an unintended consequence, and that unintended consequence is this National Assembly election. That's what it did. It frightened the daylight out of Barrow and NPP. The fraud that they got away with during the presidential election, they couldn't, because people were watching them closely. The UDP was policing them, GDC was policing them, we were policing them in the combos and phonies, and we caught them several times, pants down. The former APRC executive were caught in Bullock, they were caught in Kamanka, they were caught in Sintet and Kalaji, and they were caught in many places in the West Coast region with huge brown envelopes suspected to contain the evil thing. The stuff that Barrow himself said used to bribe the MPs. He said it in Mandinka, Nagal Dukule. In Mandinka, they'll break the fast. They say break the fast. Sunteo. Tei means break. In Jola, they'll say Efumesunge. We break the fast. Maybe one of you say cut it, but why would you just translate it directly? But anyway, besides that distraction with Barrow's offenses in terms of idioms and the Queen's language, we go back to the National Assembly elections. If he won 53% of the vote and won about 40 to 45 constituencies during the presidential election, including the rigging of votes in Fonyi Jarol. Barrow didn't win Fonyi Jarol during the presidential election, but they gave him the win anyway. Barrow didn't win Fonyi Bondal during the presidential election, but they gave him the win anyway. Barrow didn't win in Fonyi Berefe during the presidential election, but they gave him the win anyway. And many other constituencies, we raised questions, we submitted enough evidence to derail, to overturn the presidential election of December 2021. But the Supreme Court and the IEC decided they were not going to allow the Gambian people to hear material that we put together to show to Gambian people and the world that the election petition of 2021 was indeed rigged to the core. Back to the National Assembly election. Barrow won 18 out of 53 seats. And all those 18 out of 53 seats, the upmarket, up-country end of the Gambia, he lost all the seats except Combo East, I believe. Barrow didn't win anywhere in the West Coast region, anywhere in the KMC, lost all the seats in Banjul, only won one seat in West Coast region, and that's Combo East, I believe. And these are the populous areas of the Republic of the Gambia. 3/4 of the population didn't vote for Barrow in this National Assembly election. And he lost badly as well. These margins were not small. The margins were not small at all between the winners and Barrow's losers. He got given a hammering. Barrow and his candidates got a hiding. Nobody believes in Barrow. Even his closest people don't believe in him. They just know under Barrow it's easier to steal what you want. It's easier to erect 2, 3, 4 mansions by working for Barrow, because Barrow himself is getting in on the act. He's part of the rump and the pump and the stealing and the defrauding of the Gambian taxpayers. Yes, but in 3, 4 months of Barrow taking over from President Jammeh, Barrow was sending his children to American schools inside the United States. Barrow was busy building his own mansion in Mankamankunda, the first of 2. Barrow's wife started doing things. Money started getting missing, including Barrow's own wife. And Gambian people are getting woke. We are on a rude awakening. Not us, the Republic of the Gambia, and on top of that, or at the forefront of that, is Adama Barrow. Rampant corruption. They don't even hide it. Barrow doesn't hide it. I bribed the MPs, he said. Nobody can do about it. Although at the moment, he can't face charges of that nature. When Barrow leaves office, he's basically created a prison cell for himself. Openly admitted bribery. We've openly been told that there's a contingent of Senegalese forces on Gambian soil who are not part of the economic mission. Even if they were part of the economic mission, how was the deal extended by the Gambian National Assembly? Barrow has bought himself a cell at Mile2 prisons, or maybe even Janjambure. I bribed the MPs, he said. So now he'll be hoping with the 18 seats he had, I'm sure Hamad Ba's NRP 4 seats will go towards him. So we can conclude that he will have 22 seats in Parliament. And Hamad Ba was rumored to be part of Barrow's sack list. Now he cannot sack Hamad Ba, because that will be basically expediting his own graveyard politically. So Hamad Ba will be rubbing his hands with glee. Oh my God, thank you very much for reassuring me a juicy gravy place in Barrow's train, or Barrow's bus as he calls it, between now and 2026. Because now I got 4 powerful National Assembly members. After Barrow's destruction at the National Assembly, I got 4 that can be added to him. So if he sacks me now, I'll say to my candidates, my MPs, do not align with Barrow anymore. And Barrow will have a minority in National Assembly. In which case, unless his plan for the Gambia is comprehensive, is productive, is for the general good of the Gambian people, Barrow will not be able to pass anything in Parliament. Ahmad Ba can sit there and say, yeah, now I can continue flying on SN Brussels 2 or 3 times every week, collect lots of per diems, steal more of President Jammeh's properties, lie to Gambian people, get double salary from my ministry, get another salary from Gambia Tourism Board, sell all the tourist land in the Gambia, do what I like, and Barrow will not sack me. Because now I got 4 members of Parliament.
Mbadin, mbele wonyola, o full video be Mr. Lamin Tamba, Facebook, alsa jube noje, alim fanna jamambe dandi wala. Lamin Tamba di amta kodo fana mi medeni APRC official, aje ko atele galka admin tije, inata ya bondi je, minketa APRC alliance with Barrow, baratemu AP Noto Alliance movement nati. Kairo kan ofofo ala baraka ngawol stalabi. Al subscribe, al ya like, al comment, al ya share ka tandala ka funyo na terola.